I'm Aaron Graber with Ventrac, and today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, the back of our tractor. As you know with the Ventrac, we focus heavily on putting the attachments up front, in front of the operator, so that as you're traveling forward, you can see the attachment working. It's a big advantage of our machine. It's why we think it works so well, and that's a little bit different than most compact tractors. So we often get the question, what about a rear PTO or a rear three-point hitch? What does your tractor do for that, or does it have that? So today we've got a couple examples to show you what those differences look like and to show you your options on a Ventrac. So like I said before, we do not have a PTO on the back of the tractor. We put that up front for obvious reasons, and that's where we want to keep it because that's what makes the most sense with our attachments. We really love that orientation, but we're still dragging around a back half of the machine, and we might as well put it to use, right? So here we have two examples in the lab, and I just want to do a quick rundown of what your options are with a Ventrac. So first, this is a fully standard tractor, just the way it would come in base trim, and there's really nothing different about it. It comes with these weights that you see, these 4 Ventrac weights, and you can add or remove those, but it's recommended to have those on almost all the time. Basically, those are offsetting, they're just kind of counterbalance weight, and you can change how many are there, but that's basically your only option. You have a 2-inch receiver, and it comes with this kind of trailer hitch tube. So you could use this with a Ventrac accessory like the drop spreader or the broadcast spreader or something else. You could also use a third-party accessory or your own tow hitch, but that is basically the limit of your options with this machine. Also, you could add to this slot here, you could add a 12-volt rear plug, and so that could power something like an electric spreader. But that's basically what you're going to be limited to on the standard machine. Now, if we come over here on this side, this is the exact same tractor chassis, just with the optional 3-point kit installed. So this is something that you would order through your dealer, and it would be built on the assembly line with this kit. This is a standard Category 1 3-point hitch arm setup. And normally in standard configuration, you'd have a turnbuckle style top link here, and that would provide your third point for any Category 1 3-point attachments. We do go to 3 weights in the back here, removable just kind of like before, but only 3 because this structure also occupies some weight. And you see your new hydraulic cylinder here to control the hitch arms. Those controls are now located in front here, next to the PTO and just to the right of the SDLA. So all of your controls are in the same area as your hand normally is for operation. So these control your various functions on the rear 3-point. Here inside, above the weights, you see the hydraulic options. So those are included, and those are what you would use to control the different hydraulic circuits, accessory circuits for something that you're running on the 3-point attachment. Now this is, like I said, a standard Category 1 3-point, which means you could put anything on it from any generic manufacturer or something that we make that is a Category 1 3-point hitch mount. And then you could put it on there just as is and operate it up and down, put it on the ground, set it in float, and use it that way. Or if it has a hydraulic cylinder or something to have an extra function like a turn of a blade or a dump of a bucket, then you can plumb into these lines to do that. But there is no shaft-driven PTO back here, so you can't run powered attachments from a third party or even our attachments. It's just not possible to do. We're going to keep that to the front of the machine. Now, the next thing you can do with this Category 1 3-point, if you're interested in expanding it to the Ventrac sphere of attachments, is what we call our 3-in-1 adapter. So you can see here, this adapter has pins, just like a Category 1 3-point would, and those mount to the 3-point hitch. And this has the optional hydraulic top link, which is super nice for controlling the pitch of things. But that would link to the top of the 3-point here as well. And then once this is installed, you have what look like standard front Ventrac hitch arms to go out the back of the machine. And then we have an example of an attachment. In this case, it's the leaf plow, because this is a pretty common attachment that you would do in this pairing. So what you would have on the front of the tractor is probably something like a turbine blower. And then you would have 3-point hitch, Category 1 3-point, 3-in-1 adapter made by Ventrac, and then Ventrac attachment. And that would allow you to run the leaf plow on the back of the tractor. And since the leaf plow doesn't have a PTO, also doesn't have a second or third function, it's just up, down, or in float, and it's perfect for this arrangement. And that way, these hitch arms can be the same, so you could take this same exact attachment and run it on the front in that way. With these arms, as a standard Ventrac mount, you can run any Ventrac attachment on the back of the tractor that doesn't have a PTO. So think about a bucket or a blade, anything like that that's sort of like secondary application that is useful as an attachment that you just want to haul around or you want to actually do some work with. So if you're trenching, then you could put a blade on the back and then you could close that trench up with the blade without having to change over attachments. You can just use it straight from the back of the machine. The next thing that we want to talk about is the other options that you have with this Category 1 adapter. Since it does have Ventrac hitch arms, even though there's no PTO, what you can do is you can carry around any of the Ventrac attachments. So even if you're carrying a mower deck or something that does have a PTO, you can't use it on the back of the tractor, but if you're working somewhere way away from the shop or wherever your trailer is parked, you can throw a mower deck or something else on this 3-in-1 adapter and take it out to your working location so that you can swap back and forth on the front of the tractor with whatever attachments you're using. And since each one of those attachments goes on and off the front in less than a minute or so without any tools, it's pretty easy to do, and having that second attachment with you is something that is super helpful in a lot of situations. So there you have it. That is a quick overview of the back of the Ventrac machine. All of the questions that we get asked are typically somewhere in that range of, tell me about the 3-point options. What does the 3-point do? What can it do? What can't it do? And so hopefully that helps answer some of those questions. No powered PTO, so you're going to have to avoid generic powered PTO attachments on the 3-point, but we do have options to adapt both Ventrac and generic attachments to the machine. And one thing I missed too also, the 3-in-1 adapter, technically speaking, is universally compatible with any Category 1 3-point. So if you wanted to, and we have seen this done, you could use just this attachment, just the 3-in-1 adapter, pretend this tractor isn't here, pretend this is a totally different branded compact tractor, and all it sees are the hitch arms. So you could put this attachment and then any Ventrac attachments on a regular compact tractor. That wouldn't be super desirable for a lot of our attachments because they're probably not sized appropriately width-wise or otherwise. But certain things like the leaf plow are still very effective on the back of other machines if you don't have the luxury of having the compact tractor that it was designed for originally in the Ventrac 4520 or otherwise. So I think that covers it on the topic of what options you have on the back of a Ventrac 4520. If I missed anything or if there's something more that you need to know, be sure to ask us in the comments below. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Also, you can check out our website at ventrac.com to get all the information on compatibility between attachments and adapters and all that stuff that goes into this. And be sure to watch our future videos for highlights of various Ventrac attachments working on the back of the tractor in conjunction with the front attachment. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.